Today I wanted to make a video delving a little bit more into these lesser known and more niche ski boot brands. Now the big players in this industry do get most of the shelf space in stores and most of the media coverage. But there is a ton of innovation that comes out of these little independent brands and a really unique perspective on what features can be added into a boot. So let's take a closer look at some of the ski boot brands and models that you may not have yet heard of. So let's start with one of the latest players coming into the ski boot realm, and this is a brand coming out of Colorado called ZayZaY. Z-A-Y. Now they bring a really unique concept with their boots with a really interesting cable closure system. Now what they're integrating is two independent cables that wrap around the forefoot in the front of the shell of the boot, and then these cables feed out the back and up to the back of the cuff where there is an adjustment and locking mechanism. Now from what I can gather is as you're flexing the boot forward, this is actually increasing a bit of tension on these cables as well, so it will hold with extra tension as you're flexing and turning your skis. Now it seems like a really cool idea to increase power as you're driving through your turns. And the other benefit is it just eliminates any buckles on the lower shell of the boot. Seems like they do have a couple of different colorways as well, with either a carbon fiber print or a water droplet print on the outside of the boot. And the next boot brand we can look at is called Wrexham. Now this is a boot that comes out of Japan, and they build their boots primarily with the construction to suit these Asian feet. So they do have a few different models, but it does offer a great range in these smaller sizes. You have narrow lasts also combined with lower cuff heights. So this is something that could also be suitable for you if you do have those needs. They are built extremely well and are just a solid overlap design. And then we have Apex. Now Apex is another ski boot brand hailing out of Colorado, and they really were the leaders in looking at a new perspective on trying to get an extra comfortable boot. And how they do that is by getting you out of a plastic boot and into a more comfortable snowboard boot, which then is enclosed inside an open chassis. Now I've never personally had a chance to ski in these boots, and the online opinion is a little bit divided, but it certainly is a unique perspective on how to build a boot. Now Strolls. Now Strolls have been around for what seems like forever. They are an Austrian ski boot brand. Most of their focus is to create their ski boots with a fully custom foam molded liner. They come quite high up the back of the leg, they do use a stiff plastic, and they do have quite a dramatic ramp angle. If you do like your ski boot to feel very aggressive and burly, something you could look at. Dodge. Now here's a ski boot brand hailing out of the eastern USA in Vermont. Now the first thing you'll notice with these boots is they are predominantly made from carbon fiber. Now another unique feature of this boot is the curvature on the back of the cuff. Now this is there to help you get into these boots. Now also because they're made from carbon, you can expect them to be quite light and have a lot of lateral power. So possibly a really powerful, good carving option. And now they do offer two different lasts with 98 and 102 millimeters. Now I really like this fresh look and their approach of building ski boots with carbon fiber. Dawho boot. Now this is another one coming out of America from Utah. And they have actually been quite a big driver of innovation of ski boots throughout the years. Now they do offer a couple of different models, and they have this really interesting closure spat system where it's three different layers of thicker and stiffer plastic underneath three different cable buckles. Hireling. Now this is a boot that comes out of Switzerland with a really long history of ski boots. Now they are established in 1885, so that does make them the oldest ski boot brand in the world. Now I really like the look of their signature H1 boot. It's quite a no-nonsense overlap construction, but does have some pretty cool leather accents and slick buckles. So that's a pretty cool one to check out. Now Dawho is another one that takes this concept of a soft inner boot that you can walk around in, and then for skiing you're stepping it back inside a plastic exoskeleton. Now these do look super futuristic and cool. There is two buckles and a hinged front tongue. Now I'm really interested to see what type of power you could generate from this design. Now they are a Swiss boot, so if any of you guys are over there in Europe and have tried this boot, let me know how they go. Now I'm going to make an honourable mention here to a brand named Gaston. Now I believe they're from Austria, and they're really looking to build a boot by 3D printing. Now I don't think they've gotten much past the prototype stage, but the models that they did display at the ISPO a couple of years back were super impressive. With this boot, they're also bringing quite a unique concept of stance, where they're flipping the ramp angle of the boot board so the toes are actually sitting higher than the heel inside this boot. Now I just want to mention a couple of other boot brands, as these sort of sit on the cusp of being not as well known and mainstream. The first one being Wrexham. Now, Roxa is an Italian boot brand, and they were well known for producing boots for full tilt, but now they've expanded into having a whole range of independently branded Roxa boots. The other one is Alpina or Alpina. Now, they are pretty well known. They have been producing boots for a while, but maybe you haven't seen them so much. I know they're not as much around in North America or Australia, possibly a little bit bigger in Europe. They were the first boot brand to come out with a fully battery operated heated liner. And there you have it. So there's a bunch of ski boot brands that you possibly have never heard about before. And also you can see some innovations and what some of these little indie guys are doing. One of them will be suited to your style of skiing or what you want out of a ski boot. So go and check them out. Thanks for watching. Stay rad. Be a patriot. Signing out.